Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Big Brother 25 Roundtable podcast. I'm your host, Taran Armstrong, and we are here today to talk about everything on the Big Brother 25 live feeds and also rate the players from 1 to 10 based on how well we think they are doing in the game. This is a special edition of the Roundtable podcast where nothing has changed from last week in terms of players, and not a whole lot of game has been played. However, there is some stuff to talk about, especially in terms of the shifting targets for next week and where the players stand. So with me to talk about it all this week is Melissa. How you doing, Melissa?
I don't know. This week has been just a whole lot of nothing for me. I feel like this week, this is like I think honestly, this is like one of the worst twists Big Brother has ever done for purely from an audience perspective, just because it is beyond boring. We have a week of nothing. They absolutely should have had, sorry, I'll go into it, but yeah, I'll let you introduce Chappell first. I don't know.
Melissa.
Also with us is Chappell. How you doing, Chappell?
Taran, I'm good. Melissa, I'm good. I know we're in hell, y'all. This is BB purgatory. You know, we've done this before. It happens. Most Big Brother seasons, at the end, we're like, what do we talk about? Everybody's just sitting around not doing anything. For this to be the middle of the season, it kind of sucks. But as far as, not much changing from last week, I think that based off of some recent events, I think I might have to break some hearts today. I think some stocks might plummet today, just because for there not to be a lot of things going on in the game. There's some really sloppy gameplay going on right now, and some people who we thought had a handle on things did not. So yeah, clutch your stocks. Right now, hold them close because I'm about to tear them apart. I'm talking to you, horse. We down bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't say hold them close. I'd say throw them away.
Sell, quick, get out. Yeah, too late. I'm here to wreak havoc.
Yeah. Literally too late. Oh God, what a stupid week. What a dumb, stupid week. I'm just at the very least, have a normal week going on while at the same time, like, you can do this zombie thing and have them in the house, but don't just be like, okay, yeah, we're not going to do any gameplay. Nothing's going to happen. It's not even like they have to vote one of them in the end, which would have maybe made like this actually make sense and work, because then at least there's some campaigning, at least there's some strategizing of like, who should we vote back in? But at this point, it's literally just waiting around for competitions, which is my least favorite part of Big Brother. And nothing can change because there's nobody empowered. There's no HOH. There's no one going home this week aside from one of those two. So it does not make any sense to just, it put a total halt on this season. I was so invested in this season. Now I feel like I literally don't care. I'm like, just send them all home. I don't know. Like, I mean, obviously I'll get back into it once the new HOH is crowned and blah, blah, blah. But for this week, I have literally not cared at all. I've forgotten that the show is on just because nothing is going on and nobody is doing anything until literally like yesterday, today. Like, I just feel like it's just, and it's not even like, it's all just speculative talk. It's all like, oh, in the future, we should go against this person or that person, or like, oh, in the future. But nobody's HOH, so nothing is concrete. Nothing is actually going to happen until we crown the next HOH, which isn't going to happen because now we have to have, and speak, like, I mean, come on. We're doing all this for Cam and Jared? Like, this is like, I don't care. Don't bring any of them back. Send them all home, and we'll all be better off. Like, it's not like I'm invested in like, oh, I hope that this person gets to stay. I don't want either of them to stay. So I'm like, whatever, play their stupid competition, and let's like just get this week over with. Because clearly, Big Brother, CBS, they didn't care about this week. They just wanted to like be like, okay, let's just move the week past because we don't have a Wednesday episode. So who cares? It's dumb.
It's not great.
Mildly.
Yeah. This is boring. This is dumb. Big Brother is good for a dumbass twist. This is one of those. But I will let us, the viewers, take some blame as well, because I remember weeks ago people were saying, I don't want Bowie Jane to go. I don't want Jag to go. I don't want these boring ass players to go. I want Izzy out of the house. And I was like, that's not a good idea. No, if not Izzy, maybe we can get Felicia out. Listen, I don't care which side of this alliance structure you're on. Getting rid of the entertaining people hinders us when stuff like this happens. I kid you not. And I bet my life on it. If Izzy was in this game, still, no matter, regardless of any competitions, any votes, any vetoes, anything like that, we would still be in a blender. Every day would be a winding ass road if Izzy was still in the house. If Isabel Fields, I don't know if that's Izzy's name, Izzy Fields was still in his house, we would be in a blender and we would be loving it. Every day was so entertaining. Just 3-4 weeks ago, and now we have ended up like this. Julie showed up with that fuck ass Bob and just ruined everything.
Well, listen, Chappell, you're speaking to the wrong audience because 2 weeks ago, 59% of them did prefer Felicia leave over Izzy.
Felicia's good TV too. We should have been trying to. You know what we should have voted against? We should have tried to do like a banner plan or something and said, Matt, don't save Jag. Don't save Jag. Matter of fact, backdoor Bowie Jane. Waste your HOH on Bowie Jane, please, so we could have good TV in the future. Whose idea was it to vote out Heisem? Did we not take a vote there? I'm just saying we have put ourselves in this hell by getting rid of entertaining players, and now we get to sit around and watch everybody either be very schmoopy and kissy and touchy, or just waiting all stagnant. Cirie would love to play some raggedy, fluid game that she was doing the first couple of weeks, but she ain't got nobody to play with now because all the crazy people gone. You got to let these people flex. You got to let them breathe in the house, and now we're all in hell. This is gonna be fun to talk about, but is there really much to talk about? This, nothing's changed. We're just chilling.
Well, there might be some more good news coming because, as we will talk about, Corey and America are in deep trouble next week, which might mean that the final two people to leave pre-jury are both of the showmances, which means we don't have to deal with schmoopiness anymore this season.
Yay. Honestly, I wish we should not have gotten rid of Izzy. We should not have gotten rid of Izzy. That was
you guys keep talking like we had any power over it.
It was our fault, Taran.
It was all of us collectively, Taran. Honestly, the fact that Taran is trying not to take any blame, deflection, we all were part of this.
Did you hear Cirie deny.
No.
Yeah, we should have kept Izzy. This is all our fault. At the time, I was like, this is great gameplay. It's so fun to just to flip the script and get Izzy out. Not because I didn't like Izzy, but just because of the gameplay aspect of it. But now I'm like, I don't care about that. I want Izzy back. She was the excitement. She was the fun. Ever since she's left, these feats have not been it. And I wish she was back. And, now we're just stuck with this garbage. And I'm just I think it's honestly the week that is getting to me with the stupid zombie thing. And it's just it's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. I feel like I'm Daniel or whatever, where I'm like, oh my God, just end the season already. Whatever. That's my
God. Just end the season already.
That's how I feel. And to think we still have so much time left. We still have so many weeks left. It's I've been saying all along, the faster the season, the more excitement it is, because it's boom, boom, boom. More people are going, more people are this and that. And you just have to move quickly. And now it's just we're waiting here for a week of nothing. And to top it all off, the fact that the pressure cooker and the double eviction HOHs meant absolutely nothing. That is, number one, it makes you be well, why would I even try for these HOHs anymore if it's just going to be taken away from me anyway? I'm sorry. I'm not going to spend 13 hours in a pressure cooker because I know it's just going to get taken away from me. And this disincentivizes gameplay and making big moves because all these people just keep coming back in the house as if it meant nothing, just for whatever reason. So if I'm in the house, I'm going to be I'm not going to make a big game move because that's going to come back to bite me. I'll let someone else make a big game move, but I want to just be on the sidelines and just vote for whoever because I don't want to be the one who gets in trouble. Look at Corey now.
Yeah. I mean, on the other hand, have you seen my Instagram? Because I'm
I've
posting
seen you
climbing again.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yes, Taran's
That was good.
outside.
I'm
Okay.
sleeping.
You are
like
sleeping. We do love that for you. Yeah.
I mean, that is good. I guess like I don't know, just with what we had at the beginning of the season where it was so exciting and we all were like having like best feeds ever to now, it just feels like it just was a total crash, and it wasn't just purely a gameplay thing. Like it wasn't just, oh well, Izzy's now gone and so the game is slower. It was literally put to a halt by production, which makes it worse.
Yeah. Big Brother gives and Big Brother takes away. You know, we are used to Big Brother playing in our face, and this time they hit us with the rope-a-dope. You know, they came in and we thought like, oh, look at Big Brother letting us have the things we want. They gave us the pressure cooker. You know, they're ejecting people from the house. Like it's like, oh, okay, look at them doing the things that people are demanding. The fans are saying, this is what we want. We feel strongly about these things. And Big Brother saying, it's the 25th season. We got you, baby. Only to be like, well, we really don't. We really don't. Yeah, like let's scramble this up. It's a scramble verse time, baby. And now we're not giving you what you want anymore. It's the back to the old Big Brother that you used to know and love, or love to hate, or just watch because of its habit at this point. So yeah, when we got the pressure cooker, we thought we got fed, and now Big Brother is reminding us the show that we were watching. I would be so mad if I stood up in that pressure cooker for even 1 hour.
Yes,
because your boy would have had to pee. So if I would have made it 1 hour. And then you tell me it didn't matter, I'd be pissed. To be out there for 8, 9, 10, however long they was in there, dear God, just for you to say, yeah, we gonna cancel that. And then to do the wild card, yeah, we gonna cancel that. Then to have this huge house blow up, survive the blow up, get your target out, and then they say, yeah, we gonna cancel that. I'd have been in the diary room crying like Zach Rance. Like, oh, man, what? I'm going with the fire. Like, I'd have been in there just throwing a fit. You
just
cannot
give
tell
him the
me.
Money already.
Just give him the money. Like, but who are you even giving the money to? Everybody's screwed by stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Matt is just like, woo. I mean, they didn't make it accessible, but I might just cruise to the end. You know, I guess it's the least they can do, since hell they done threw this man in the fire for no reason. They ain't helped him out at all. The damn flies died for nothing, y'all. The snakes, those flies. You know what I'm saying? But bro, justice for the flies. I'm just saying, it would be frustrating to me as a player to have gone through all of this just to know that it's all for naught. So Big Brother, do better.
Yeah, listen, I've complained enough about it, so I'm happy to hear you guys complain. I think the biggest concern to me is that we've had such a good season up until this point, a good 50 days, really. And this is definitely a huge slowdown. And this is usually like, you know, I'm used to this now in terms of, you know, being tapped into the excitement of a season. Momentum shifts like this usually happen with twists, and they tend to kill off excitement for the rest of the season or close to it, unless something else big, you know, picks back up. And it's a shame that that's happening at the 50-day mark, considering that there's 50 more days, because this was shaping up to be potentially an all-timer. And this is a big sign that we might not make it there. It might be one of those seasons that's like, well, it was good in the first half. Then it got really boring, which is a shame because Cirie Fields is in that house. And we had, like I said before, the most eventful 44 days in probably the history of the entire show. So we'll see, you know, but you know, listen, we'll always have those 44 days, you know, even if things don't work out, we can always look back fondly and cherish that time that we had together.
Yeah, and selfishly as a Cirie fan, it's kind of good for her though. You know, let's slow it down a little bit. Cirie, and not like saying like, oh, this twist helps. No, I'm saying in general, when Cirie was moving a mile a minute, she was doing wild stuff. She'd wake up in the morning, talk to Izzy. It's like they'd sit there, they'd put their heads together, and then they just start to spiral together. And then Izzy would just suck her into the wormhole, and then they just go down that path, and then they flip here, they flip here, they flip here, they flip there. Let's slow things down, baby. Let's get back to that survivor field. Let's give it 3-4 days before we make a decision. Let's see who wins the immunity challenge before we do anything big. I'll take that. I will take that because I am rooting for somebody, very obviously. But as far as just like viewing pleasure, this ain't it. This is a television show first. It is barely a competition reality show. Let's just be very clear. This damn near the WWE. Okay, like let's just call it what it is. But at the very least, it needs to be an entertaining TV product, and that's what we're not getting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me give you a recap of what has happened this week, because I know a lot of people have tuned out of the week and they haven't really been able to follow along. Basically, what we saw, of course, is that in the double eviction, Cameron was voted out first, and then Corey won the HOH, nominated Blue and Jared. They voted Jared out after Matt won the veto and chose not to use it. So over the last few days, there's been a lot of damage control attempted via Matt, or from Matt and Jag to Cirie and to Blue. Blue has gotten back in tight with Matt and Jag. She's very pissed at Corey for nominating her during the double eviction. She's been trying to turn Matt and Jag against Corey all week long. While this is happening, Cameron has also decided to work with Cirie while simultaneously trying to get in with Matt and Jag. They've created an alliance called the Fugitives that is allowing Cameron to get some safety and push his target of Felicia, then Corey, because he thinks that America is nothing without Corey, and he doesn't want Felicia on the jury. Now, while he opened that up and Matt and Jag started straying away from their alliance with Corey and America, Blue came in with information gained from America to help further push Matt and Jag away from Corey and America, which is information that they have been both throwing Matt and Jag under the bus and also withholding some information about what Corey thinks Mimi and Felicia would do if they were to win HOH, which just last night pushed Matt and Jag to be fully anti-Corey in America, with Matt saying even today that if he won, he would just straight up put Corey and America on the block. He then talked to Bowie today and told her that Corey and America are trying to stay good on all sides, making a bunch of alliances, and that in fact she had an alliance with Blue, a Final Three alliance with Blue, the three of them. And Bowie went, really? Because they've been trying to make a Final Three with me the last few days. I can't believe how sketchy they are. Then went upstairs and lied to Corey about the conversation. So it seems as though Bowie has also now been turned against Corey and America. Now, while all this is happening, Cirie has been getting in good with Corey and America, as well as getting off of the radar of Jag and Matt, still working with Blue, and now pulling in or trying to Cameron as well, while of course still maintaining her connection to Mimi and Felicia, which means that Cirie has gotten into a safer place for now. And that's kind of the state of things at the moment. Mimi and Felicia are still anti-Jag and Matt for the most part, but they don't really care for Corey and America all that much, although they are still trying to push for this Final Four deal. Corey and America are still looking at targeting, or I should say Corey is still looking at targeting Cameron. America would probably lean somewhere else first. While the Blue, Matt, and Jag group are now looking at Corey before anybody. They're even thinking about, how do we turn Cameron against Corey even a week earlier? Should we tell Cameron that Corey is targeting him? And they're not sure exactly when they should do that. And so things are shaping up very poorly for Corey in America, very well for Blue and Cirie. And of course, really just everyone is currently just saying, Matt, would you like to win the game? Because it seems like you want to, and you seem like a nice guy, so if you want it.
Good for Matt.
Good for Matt.
That's good for him. I'm happy
we
for
love
him.
that for you, Matt. Yeah, happy for Matt. It did feel like people were playing games for a while, like, okay, we are all self-interested. And then your boy, Corey, decided, I have a stranglehold on this game at this point, kind of. Like, they can't really focus on getting me out. I'm in the show, man, so that connection's not going anywhere. I did just flip the house, so there's 3 people probably on the bottom that I don't have to worry about. And somebody who we just voted out just came out of the house. Just came back in the house, and we could probably vote that person back in, and I got like a week to figure out how that's going to look. What if I just told all my competitors that they should be in charge? What if I just handed them the game? What if I said, okay, my showmans, we should be at the bottom of the alliance that I just created. Yeah. And then also we should be at the bottom of the alliance that I flipped on. We need to be at the bottom of both those things. And on top of that, I probably should tell Matt and Jag, who really don't know what the hell they're doing in the game from a week-to-week basis, that they should start looking forward. Have you started studying? Have you looked at things? Have you started memorizing things? Oh, you have that information wrong? I'm going to help you out, because in my mind, the end of the game competitions are going to be mental competition, and you need to be up to scratch on those mental competitions. But history shows that they're probably not going to be mental competitions, in which case y'all will probably already be fine, because y'all are the most physical people left in the house, not named Cam, who is technically not in the house right now. And so now you're covered on all sides. You're at the top of my alliance that I created. You now have my working knowledge of the game and the competitions and what you should be learning. And you have the physical prowess that I do not have. Congratulations, Matthew. Here you go. Jag, would you like final two? Take it. What are you doing, Corey? What's up, dog? You're supposed to be one of us. We out here. Look, I got my chorus horse shirt on, but I'm covering it up today. I'm not as proud to be a horse today. You know, it's not the way it used to feel, because I felt like Corey was in there, and yes, he was getting distracted by his showmans. He was making mistakes. Nobody perfect except maybe Cirie. And even in this game, you know, she got some flaws. But what I'm saying here is that, dang, Corey, them rookie mistakes you was making, that's one thing. But to actively start helping your biggest competitor in the house win any competitor in the house, except, that is not helping you directly, that just doesn't make any sense. Is he bored? I just don't understand what is leading him to make these decisions. Melissa, what you got?
I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know, like, number one, why he's doing any of that. You would think that as a fan of the show, he would know what to do and not to do. And also at the same time, like, how do he and America not realize that the vibe has changed? Like, you would think that they would kind of get an idea of like, this doesn't feel as like cool, fun, we're in this together as it literally did a couple days ago. Like, I just feel like the vibes are off. People are talking to other people. Like, you're not having those same sort of strategy conversations where everybody is sharing information and doing this and that anymore. Like, how do you not get that the vibes are off? Is it literally just that he's just distracted with his showmance? Or is it just that he just wants to believe, I guess, that everything's cool for him, and so he doesn't want to look at what's really going on?
I don't think he knows how to play from the top. He hasn't had any experience with it, and he's had a lot of experience not playing from the top. It's sort of like Corey's game is kind of like that time Jacob Jones was on the podcast and my internet went out.
Yes.
Like
he didn't know what to do.
Yeah, the second he gets into power, he's just like, what? Don't give me the keys. And he hands somebody else the keys. The whole point of doing the move on Izzy is for Corey to get out of the spot that he was in, which was a deteriorating position, a rapidly deteriorating position where he was going to have to win out. And to make the move meant that it gave him the opportunity to put himself into a strong leading position in the game, one where he was able to have a bunch of different groups that he could form alliances with, a final four with Felicia and Mimi that you don't tell other people about, a final four with Jag and Matt that you don't tell other people about, an alliance with Bowie and Cam that you don't tell other people about. And he got unlucky with the Jared HOH win, which meant that the Bowie Cam alliance was going to fall a little bit short. But that, I mean, apparently that wasn't even that unlucky, because he's lost Cam already anyway. And if anything, it might have been lucky, because Cam is now in a worse position to move from, or should have been. And so what he ended up doing was like, okay, I'm in this new position. I'm just gonna hand the keys over to Jag and Matt, because that's what I've been doing all season with Cirie. But the problem is that now you're in the same spot you were before, except you have less leverage over America. You're more likely to leave than America is now. And you're facing off against extraordinarily stronger competition when it comes to physical challenges that are going to come at the end of this season. and you're helping them study for the tiny bit of mental portion of those competitions. It's very bad, and it's a worse spot than he was in before. I talked about this morning, that like I do think that in a vacuum, the move against Izzy made sense because it gave him the opportunity to shift his game into something new and different. The problem is he didn't do that, and instead it shifted into something worse. And that is where he is right now. I mean, and when I say this, I'm talking specifically about the fact that he is telling Matt and Jag about the Final Four with Felicia and Mimi. We don't even have to talk about America telling Blue about it and not telling Corey that she told Blue about it. Continuing to neglect the relationship with Blue, continuing to help Matt and Jag study while also not doing enough work on them because he's hanging out with America too much, focusing far too much on Cameron and the whole situation going on there. There's a lot that's going wrong for Corey this week, and
does he
it's
just
not looking
feel
good.
Does he just feel like so comfortable, like now that he made that big move and he feels like he's got this new power structure with, you know, him, Jag, Matt, and America, and then also the Mimi Felicia thing, like just as like, so he doesn't have to worry about them targeting him. But he feels like that Matt Jag thing is like they're locked in, and so
He
like,
thinks they're
why
locked in
worry?
for sure.
Yeah, so he probably just feels so overconfident, like I have no need to worry. No one's actually going to target me. And even if they did, I have the four of them, like this foursome, that I don't even need to be worried. And so then he's kind of taking his foot off the gas and just like relaxing for the week when everybody else around him is scrambling, trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
I don't
know. If he couldn't control the house after he made the Izzy move, he shouldn't have made the Izzy move. So yeah, like the Izzy move is not necessarily a bad move if you can then take that move and do what you need to do with it next. He did not do that. It's like Corey's came into the idea, like into the house, like as an idea of like, I need to have an army eventually to take down who is in charge. I need to be close enough to who's in charge to where I can start to build these outside relationships and use them to target that power structure. Then we whittle ourselves down to like 7, and then I do it again, basically. But he put himself back at the top of that power structure. And whereas like like a Cody's at the top of a power structure, all those people think they're with Cody. They all think they're his number one. He's going to target the people on the outskirts, and it's going to be very clear who he's working with. He's going to try to keep those people just close enough to where they have nowhere else to go. And he just maintains that. And he just makes sure that he is one of the people who is not expendable in these alliances that go down in numbers. Corey put himself at the bottom of the alliance once he was at the top. Like now he's giving the numbers to the other side. So it's like now he's going to have to rebuild that army to take down the power structure, because he just, by flipping on Izzy, he got Felicia on his side, and Felicia was not on Corey's side. You know, he basically sacrificed a good relationship with Izzy to go and get a contentious relationship with Felicia on his side to be against Cirie. And so like you built that, but now that you have it, you ain't know what to do with it, and it's bad. And he just started to panic. I think like telling them how to beat him in the end game is weird. I just really need him to get his head back in the game, because I don't know what he thinks is going to happen here. He's already got flawed logic thinking that this is going to be a very physical game at the end. It might be. I mean, we've seen crazier things happen this season, but at the same time, based off of what his prior knowledge of the game, it should tell him that eventually it's going to be a lot of running back and forth to touch things and to hang stuff up and to swinging across stuff. It happens in Big Brother now. He should be aware of that. It's not all just like, how many days was this? How many days was this? Can you hide something under the pillowcases? We've moved away from that. And so it just feels like he's letting it slip away. And I guess that's why we have so many complaints about it, because this is supposed to be somebody who we hold to a higher standard when it comes to this kind of strategy, right? So it's like, if he has been proving himself to be a super fan, we expect you to know these things are very important. And at the very least, don't give away the answers to other people.
Well, that's my thing, is that like for me, it's less about holding him to a higher standard and more about the fact that he is portraying himself to be a super fan. He is giving information, and what I mean by that is that I don't necessarily fault people, like overly fault people, for not knowing that the end game comps are physical, because while I would say do some homework, figure it out, it's a hugely important portion of the game, and I would fault them for that. I wouldn't be like, well, you should have known because of X, Y, or Z. The particular issue with Corey is not for me that he should know better. It's that he's telling other people like he does know better. And he's giving them the wrong info. Not only is he planning wrongly for himself, but he's giving bad information to other people that hurts him. That even if it was true, he shouldn't be saying it. And it's not even true in the first place. It's just all around bad. And so it's that for me is what is particularly troubling with this particular portion of his game.
And I think, like, to Corey's credit, like, I do think that the twist really did a number on his game, mainly because I think that if someone won HOH this week, like immediately after the double, like let's just say both Cameron and Jared are gone, they play HOH, and let's say someone from their foursome or even Felicia or somebody like wins HOH at that point in time, I think he would be fine. Like, I don't think any of this would matter. I mean, obviously, like, you have to pivot and like go with what the game gives you. But I do think that he would be in a much better spot this week if the week just played out as normal and there was no like confrontations of like Jared coming back and like people doing XYZ. Like, I just feel like the twist really screwed him on this.
You know what he
one,
said? You know what he said today to America? Or it might have been
What's
to
that?
Cam. He said, I think this twist really helps me. Gave me a week to do damage control after my HOH.
And yet he did not. So
yeah. See, that's why I can't give the twist that much credit for screwing him over, because with or without the twist, eventually those words were going to leave his mouth. The end game portion is mental. He also was eventually going to help his allies win. There's no reason. This twist did not change the idea that they should be, that he should not be sharing valuable information of the game with Jag and Matt when his number one ally is America, who he also cannot trust. You know, it's kind of like it was already on a shaky foundation. He had the opportunity to use that big fight with Jared to galvanize the house against Jared, Cirie, Felicia, even, you know, like he had the chance to do that. And then he just took his foot off the gas. You know, like the twist did not help him, even though he thinks it did. But make no mistake, these are unforced errors. The twist is not going to make you wake up and decide, let me go make sure Matt has his days right. Because that's who I need. Like, that's who I don't need to be worried about. The guy everybody likes. That's the guy I should be helping. The twist didn't make him think that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's talk through some of these survey results. Of course, you can fill out the survey over on my Twitter. I've tweeted it out over on my Twitter at Armstrong Taran. And you have roughly 11 minutes if you want to fill this out yourself, and you haven't done so already. First, let's talk about the favorite player rankings. Do we have a guess at the top three?
I guess Cirie and America. I don't know. I honestly don't know this week. This is not a week.
So for reference, for the past at least 3 weeks, the order has been Corey, America, Cirie.
You got to get Matt in there, right?
Maybe Cirie and America and Mimi or something. I don't know. I honestly, I don't think Corey's in there anymore.
Yeah, it depends on when the survey was done. If this was, if people completed the survey a couple of days ago, probably still Corey. But if in the last 24 hours, if you've been watching this and thinking this guy's my fave, it's gonna be tough. I do think Matt might have creeped in. He just got that big win against Jared, and then he is seemingly in one of the best spots in the house, if not the best.
So since week 3, Corey has been on top of the favorite player. The last 5 weeks, Corey has been on top of the favorite player list. This week, the audience said, sorry, I've always been a Cirie stan, actually.
Oh my God. I knew it. I knew Cirie, she'd be back up there.
Cirie is back on top, closely followed by Corey, and then America. That is the top 3. How about the bottom 3? Do you have a guess at the bottom 3?
Jared at the way bottom.
Cam next to Jared because they're both in the house still.
Yeah.
And then maybe Felicia. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe Felicia or maybe like Bowie. Maybe.
I hear Bowie James making
or Jag. Jag maybe. People are pissed at Jag for some reason.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Yeah,
so,
if I had to
maybe Jag
be down there.
Or maybe
Jag
Blue.
is the closest of the guesses, but yes, it's Blue. Yeah.
Yep, that makes sense.
This is the order. It is Cirie, Corey, America, Mimi, Felicia, Matt, Bowie, Jag,
Oh.
Blue, Cam, Jared.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's so funny though to have Cirie at the top and Jared at the bottom.
It really is.
Like it's just so funny.
Mm-hmm.
And like I want to say also that like, so I had tweeted this week that I just want to be like an AmeriCorey and Cirie fan. Like I just want to like them both and just like let me have this. And I got so many comments of like, oh, so you hated a steamroll when it was Cirie's side, but now that Corey's steamrolling, you're totally cool with it. And I'm like, where is this steamroll? Where is this Corey steamroll that we're looking at? Because I have not seen a Corey steamroll at all. They're losing. They're like, literally everyone is targeting them. They got like one person out. Is that a steamroll? It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, people were calling what Cirie did a steamroll, and then Cirie voted out one of her number one allies in Heisel. It's like, look.
It's like, I haven't seen a steamroll this entire game. It's like, it changes week to week. Everyone's like, allies change up every week, which I love. That's like, honestly, one of my favorite parts of the season is that it's not just everyone's set in stone. Like, you know, BB19, no, Paul's my ally and no one can convince me otherwise. It's like, people will switch it up every week. Any week, like you don't know what's going to happen. Your favorite could go home. Who knows? And I love that because it just keeps things exciting. But like the idea that like Cirie was steamrolling and I was pissed off, and now that Corey's steamrolling, I'm like super duper happy. Like I haven't seen a steamroll this whole time.
Yeah.
You can't let it get to you, Melissa.
I do.
There's people arguing online because they think that I'm biased for Corey. They think I'm a Corey stan. And then other people are like, what are you talking about? No, he hates Corey. He's way too critical of him. And they're literally going back and forth arguing with each other over who I'm biased for in the opposite direction.
It's honestly, it's so wild. It's like, I don't like a steamroll generally. It doesn't matter who's doing it. But this season, I don't think that applies. The only thing I had said was like, I don't want a steamroll. If it turns into a situation where everyone's just doing whatever Cirie says, that's not going to be fun to watch. But the same is reversed. If everyone started doing what Corey said, I would be like, oh, that sucks. But nobody's doing what anybody says at any time because everyone's just making crazy moves every single week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
Whatever.
They're just doing what they want to do. But you know how the fandom is. You want your faves to do well. You want everybody else's faves to suck. And then, but you also want it to be a split house, but you also don't want there to be any drama, but you don't want there to be fighting, but you want there to be fighting. But I need the old days back, but I can't have the old days back. Look, that's what we signed up for every year. I just wish people would stop saying the word steamroll before we actually get one again, because All Stars, that most recent one, that was a steamroll. BB16, a steamroll. Like there are steamrolls, and we don't even talk about those seasons because they suck. And so, can we just please get back to like, hey, these people are playing. They might be messy, they might be good, they might be bad, but this is not an alliance of two that has decided the pecking order and watching all those people go home one after another, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. That is not the case.
Not at all.
Yes. Well, I asked the audience how they felt about the episodes this week, and the audience gave the episodes a 5.0. 5.0.
That's too high.
Quite down from the 7.4 of last week. In fact, I think this is close to the lowest they've been all season.
So wait,
they were a little bit lower.
They didn't like the double eviction, Taran?
You know, if I were to make a guess, I would say that would have been considerably higher if not for this twist. I think that would have been very high indeed.
Yeah, in a vacuum, I don't think anything's wrong with the double eviction episode. It was kind of good. Julie had her hair did. There was some drama. I mean, the episode ended with, that horrible twist where we find out that both of these players are still in the game. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess it's mid. Yeah, you gotta dial it back at that point. But for a good stretch of television, solid.
All right. I also asked the audience to rate the feeds this week. I just want to quickly take you on a journey before I reveal this
3.0.
number. Week 1 feeds were a 9.2. Week 2 feeds were an 8.0. Then an 8.1, 8.4, 7.1, 7.9, 6.8 last week. This week, 2.9.
Woo! Deserved,
Nasty
honestly.
Nasty business.
That's
man.
so bad.
That is the cliff that we have fallen off of.
That's bad. God, I hope it gets better.
It can't get really, really hard to get worse. Really, really hard to get worse.
Big Brother will try to do it. They'll try to
And
find a way.
this is a week of feeds where there have been fights, there have been new alliances made, there has been target shifting, people's games are crumbling, and yet a 2.9 because of how disastrous the momentum shift has been, and the just like mental toll that this twist, I think, has put on the entire fan base.
Yeah, you need an HOH. You need power. You need somebody leaving this week. I mean, like, no one's going to leave. So no matter what, it all hinges on the next HOH. Yes, it's like alliances are shifting, whatever, but none of it matters for this week. All of it is just prep for next week. So none of that will matter until we pick a new HOH. So the whole thing means nothing. And now that like Cam has the opportunity to do this puzzle or whatever, it's like, even that doesn't really mean anything. Like if they only just had them have to vote them in or something, then at least there's some sort of strategy talk. But right now there's nothing.
People said, "Oh, what's gonna happen? I ain't gonna watch this," and walked off, and that's it. And they ain't seen a second of feeds. I'm telling you, the people voted. They're not watching the feeds. Why would they? Why would they? They looked up for a few seconds and said, "I get about a 2," and went on about their business. They'll be back when the HOH is crowned. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I also asked the audience to rate the season as a whole so far. Last week, it was a 7.7. This week, it has gone down to a 6.4, the biggest drop of the season so far. I think, again, this is the worry that people are having about the direction the season will go after this big momentum shift. I asked the audience to rate Corey's HOH reign, brief though it was. They gave it a 7.0, which, you know, I would say, yeah, he got Jared out, but his handling of Blue, I think, left something to be desired. Could there have been another result? I don't think so. But I think that, like, telling her, okay, I believe you, I won't put you on the block, and then putting her on the block definitely twisted the knife that otherwise would have just been a regular stab. And like I said, she probably is pissed off anyway, probably is trying to get him out anyway. But this did not help. And the follow-up afterward was not great either. So I personally would have had this a little lower than a 7.0.
Yeah, agreed. I think the move itself is good. I think it made sense. But yeah, the way it was done was a little not great. I thought maybe like we just missed something in the double eviction where like he then goes to tell her, look, like everybody's telling me to put you up, like I have to do it or something like that. But instead it was just like, I believe you, I won't put you up. Okay, Blue, you're going on the block, which is, yeah, I'd be mad about that for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
7's probably fine. I don't know. Like I can't go no higher than a 7 for sure. But you know, like for the most part, he got his target out. It happened very quickly. Everybody played the parts they needed to play. How was he supposed to know Blue was going to say something as dumb as, "Yeah, I'd take Jared down"? Come on, man. Nobody could just pivot with that. They were like, "What?" He was flustered, man. Give him a break.
Well, finally, I asked the audience to rate the zombie twist.
Oh God.
And I decided I usually don't do 2 decimal places with the ratings for these things because it doesn't really matter all that much. But in this case, I decided to just on the off chance. And lo and behold, the zombie twist was given a 1.49 by the audience, meaning if it were in the Stockwatch, it would have received the fabled 1 from the audience.
I think like I don't mind the twist as like a bringing back jurors or whatever, like, or bringing back, not jurors, I guess, bringing back evictees. But I think the way it was handled was just so bad. Either you have them initially compete and one of them goes back in, or you have both of them go back in, you play out a normal week, and then like one of them competes and comes back in, and that person gets to vote with the rest of the group or something. Or you have like the voting thing where they come back in. Maybe we don't play out a regular week, but at the end of the week, the house guests have to vote back one of the people to join. So that way, at least there's some sort of strategy. But the way they did it, where they just get to come back in the house, be pissed off, compete in these stupid mini challenges, and everyone else just has to sit there and watch, it's very dumb.
I mean, and even that, maybe if you just said, hey, today, Sunday, we're going to have one part of the challenge. And then Tuesday, we'll have another part of the challenge. Then Thursday, we will have the finale of this challenge and, you know, the big moment of who is coming back into the house. At least give them something to do throughout the week. They gave them one of the easiest Big Brother challenges we ever see. We always see this damn challenge in every other season at least, where somebody's walking across the balance beam and putting the ball down, whatever. I thought they were really about to pull a rabbit out their hat with some type of battle back. You know, we've seen really like robust battle backs where it's a different round, a different competition every round. I'm thinking Victor, you know, when he comes back into the game after just like this whole gauntlet of battle backs and stuff. We've seen that. This, they said, let's take a 1 episode challenge and legit make it worth a week's worth of challenge, but let's do it to where it only comes on Sunday. So that means the rest of the week you have nothing else to do. They have nothing else to talk about. They could have been preparing for the comeback of both Jared and Cam, where now they're all looking at Cam as like, well, since you won the challenge, you're probably going to come back. So let's just focus our attention on you. This could have been a week of intrigue of who is going to win that coveted spot. They gave it away already. They already told us what was going to happen. So now we just got to sit. So the twist is bad, but the execution of the twist is bad too.
I mean, listen, buybacks are already one of the worst twists that Big Brother has. They somehow found a way to make it worse. That's really what's happening here. I mean, talking about another season that was great in the first part and then it just dies a slow death in the second half. Big Brother 20. What happened? They brought back Scotty and it killed the momentum of the season and it just tailed off from there. This is just it's just not a good twist. Bringing people back is never worth it. It's just, you know, this is not the way.
You could have just left it at you brought back Scotty and your sentence would have still been fine.
Well, I also asked the audience, did Matt make the right decision for his game with the veto? 93% of the audience said yes. Obviously, don't use the veto. Was flipping on Izzy the right move for Corey? I asked this again because I asked it last week, and 85% of the audience said yes. This week, 72% of the audience said yes. So a small portion of the audience has changed their mind on this, given the results and the outcome of this week. But we've already kind of talked about that. Who do you want to be evicted this week between Cam or Jared? 72% would prefer to see Jared leave this week. And then finally, who do you want to see win HOH this week? America has topped this poll for basically the whole season, and she does not lose that spot quite yet. She's still the top spot at 33%, followed by Mimi at 22%. I think people recognizing that Mimi is potentially one of the only people who's going to take a shot at the real power structure of the house right now, which is Jag and Matt. Then Corey, and then Cirie. And that's how the audience thinks.
Who is America's target if she were to win as it stands right now?
It's a good question. Corey, I think, would want her to target Cam potentially. I think there'd be a lot of information that might come out if she's the winner of this competition. She could theoretically end up targeting Cirie or Felicia. She feels better about Cirie, but Felicia has also been trying to pull her into this Final Four alliance. So it could go in a lot of different ways. I think America is one of the most up in the air HOHs because she doesn't have she has great targets, but she's not going to target them. Like, obviously, she should just straight up target Matt and Jag or Blue. Really, the three of them.
Any one of them. Pick one. Okay, just one dude.
Yeah. I just feel like America's HOH would be like she'd call people in one by one and then explain her whole game to them and then say thanks, bye.
I would like to see it. I think I'm
Don't
voting with
tell
the
anyone
audience.
though. Don't tell anyone
Yeah.
I told you.
Oh boy.
All right. Should we rate the players?
Yes.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun.
Okay. Here we go. Let's do it. Here's the chart. This is the portion of the podcast, of course, where we rate the players from 1 to 10 based on how well we think they're doing in the game. 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. And, we use a variety of criteria. It is individual to each person. Usually some combination of their ultimate winning potential as well as their current status in the game and how well they've been doing this week. So let's start off. I also, of course, asked the audience to contribute and rate the players themselves, and so the audience will have a say as well. Let's start off with the America because, listen, we're doing the same exact players we did last time. Nobody has left. Remember last week when we were like, man, next week 2 players are going to be gone. It's going to be final 9. We're going to be into
I was so
jury.
excited.
Cooking with grease.
It's going to be faster through the ratings. We're going to do this. Last week, America got a 4 overall. I think that, listen, America has not been playing well. She gave Blue the silver bullet needed to take out Corey and herself last night by telling Blue that Corey thinks that Mimi is going to target Jag. On top of that, she's still telling Blue too much. Which is not to say that Corey's not also telling people too much, but she's just contributing as well. And the main difference here is that she today did not tell Corey that she told Blue. Blue, who has now already told Jared about it and is planning to tell more people about it, or at least thinking about it. Which, it probably doesn't matter because they already know. But the fact that this is even happening at all is just another weak point in the in the game, in their armor that is Corey and America. Her one saving grace right now is that she's less likely to go home than Corey if they end up on the block together. And after Corey leaves, she has a bit of runway, especially if Cam is still in the game, because I think that Cam will want to work with her moving forward. So she's got, and plus, she probably beats, actually, without Corey in the jury. Oh man, actually, Cam might beat America in the final 2, guys. Just, I'm sorry. I had to put that out there, but like, Blue would vote Cam over America. Matt would vote Cam over America. Jag right now would vote Cam over America.
The Fields family. Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's not great. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 2.
Yeah. I'll give her a 3, I guess, because I was a bit higher on her last week. But I totally agree. It's not been good. I think I'm giving her a 3 just because between her and Corey, like if her and Corey go on the block together, which they will, she is more likely to stay. I feel like people are thinking of Corey more as a threat. And so once Corey goes, I think that maybe that opens up a little bit more for her, but she's certainly not playing this week, right? So who knows?
Yeah. 2 is fine. I'm fine with 2. Because I think that if she sits next to Cam on the block, I think she goes home. And that's incredible because they've wanted Cameron out since week 1. And so for her to be in a situation where people are looking at Cam like a more useful piece because he can win stuff, because according to Blue, she's just so bad at competitions, but other people see that the same way, they also don't think Cam is a huge jury threat, but as you just outlined, he's beating America. She would stay over Corey, but I think at that point she could probably have a little bit more wiggle room once she gets like her number 1 ally that people think she's attached to out of the game. But as it stands right now, she's not in a great spot. If for some reason she's not sitting next to Corey, I think she can guarantee that she's going home.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it until I just said that out loud, but I feel like she might be the least likely person to win in a final two if Corey leaves pre-jury.
Oof, that's so bad.
She'd really have to win some comps and do something to change the narrative. Listen, there's a lot of time though. There's a lot of time. Strike that from the record. It's not really that important right now. I think she's the kind of player where there's time for her to change that perception. But as of right now, I think it might be true.
But basically, she needs to do something. Like, she can't just keep playing as she's playing now and expect to win. Like, something needs to change for her, whether that's like getting in with a new group or winning some competitions or something.
Yeah. I mean, I think of it like, obviously Bowie is there too, but like people like Bowie and respect Bowie a lot more now than they did even just a couple weeks ago, which in one way is an indication that like America could improve her position like Bowie did. But in another way, it has pushed America down below Bowie, I think, in that ranking. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and the thing is, even the AmeriCorey stands, y'all know this too. See, that's the thing. That's why y'all want her to win HOH so bad, because y'all want her to be in a better position than she is. That's why every week everybody's like, I need America to win because she's gonna shake up the house. It's because you see her slowly dwindling. So although we're saying the words, you already agree with us. We saw the survey results.
Well, the audience feels a bit better about America.
See?
As they are wont to do. They gave her a 4 this week. Audience, do we need to talk?
No, again, they want her to be in a better position. I just said this. And that's why they're demanding an HOH. We need something. They're grasping for crumbs. And I get it. Again, chorus horror right here. Sign me up. Comerica. I'm right here with you. But at the same time, we can acknowledge that for doing what, though? Like, what exactly merits the 4? Like, we are watching some historically black gameplay coming from her number one ally, and she's doing nothing to, like, circumvent that. It's falling back on her, too. I want better for America and us. This America proper.
All right. Well, let's move on then to Blue. Melissa, what are your thoughts on Blue?
This one's a little tricky because Blue presumably is losing Jared this week. But I do think that that's actually good for Blue. I think it takes a target off of Blue's back in regards to like a showman's target. Also, she was able to convince Jag and Matt. I mean, maybe it wasn't like so much convinced, but more like they were already ready to do this, but kind of flip on Corey and America. Also, she's not really on anyone's target list right now anyway, especially with Jared going. I think that she could last a bit in the house. And I think, yeah, I don't know. This one's kind of tricky to me. What did I give her last week? I gave her a 2. I'm honestly debating between like a 4 and a 5 or something. Honestly, I just think like she's in a much better spot. And now that Matt and Jag are like listening to Blue and working with Blue again, like I think that could be really good for her. I guess for now, I'll see what happens. So I'll just go up to a 4 for now. And yeah, we'll see.
A 4 from Melissa. Chappell?
Man, I don't know, man. Blue might be in a better spot than America, but she is. If you're trying to figure out who the better player is, you got to squint really hard. You got to really like focus on the screen and kind of like dissect some things, because the stuff that Blue does is wild. I think Mari and Taran were talking about it on the update, and they were talking about how, during Jared's HOH, his sidekick, his number one, is like undermining him at every turn. She's with the other alliance that is plotting against him, and she's not even telling him. Now he's gone, and she decides, let me go solidify things with Jared. Let me go lock this down. It's stuff like that I can't reward you for. Like, stuff like that doesn't make any sense. This man is almost out the house. He literally got voted out. She's turning like her anti-Americanness and Corey-ness is very clear as well, even though she thinks she's hiding it. It's just that her execution of all her moves is so bad. I was talking to somebody on Twitter, and they were saying like, the crazy thing about Blue is that she doesn't know she's bad at the game. I said, yes, she does. She's aware. She's aware because every time she tries something, it blows up in her face. And then she's like, oh, damn, wow, that's crazy. Kitty, kitty, purr, And I just cannot give her a 4. I'm sorry. She can have a 3, but she can have a 4.
All right. Well, the audience gave Blue a 4. They agree with Melissa on this one. Listen, I gave Blue a 4 last week, and here's my problem. Blue's in a considerably better position than she was last week, and she's playing considerably better as well. And here's why, because clearly my rating is going to stand out a little bit here.
Yes, Taran, 10.
She has successfully managed to flip Matt and Jag on Corey in America, which benefits her more than it does them. And if this goes down, if they do take Corey out of the game next week, that's massive for Blue, because she now has Jag and Matt still locked in. She has Cirie basically to herself to some degree. Like, obviously, Cirie's not coming for Blue anytime soon. Mimi and America will still be after Matt and Jag, or sorry, Mimi and maybe even America, depending on how it goes down. But Mimi and Felicia will still be after Matt and Jag. And basically she's covered on all sides, in a position where she's able to, like, from basically day 60-ish on, be in a somewhat power position where she's influencing the game. I think that, like, her ability to win in a final 2 starts to go up from there. Now she still has to contend with the issue of Matt, who is the biggest problem. Cirie, who would still probably beat her in a final 2, which means that she needs to get there with other people, and I'm not sure that she's planned for that. But I think that, like, the upward trajectory is pretty strong with Blue. Even if Corey doesn't leave next and it is Felicia, or even, like, worst case scenario, maybe like Matt or Jag, like, she's still not in the worst position in the world. She's been able to sort of, like, put herself there. Honestly, in some ways, the worst spot for her is if Jared comes back in, but there's ways for that to be worked around as well. I don't have a lot of faith in her ability to maintain this position, but she's basically doing all the right things right now in terms of her success rate in the moment. So I'm gonna go maybe a little wild. I'm gonna give her a 6.
Ooh, look,
Yeah.
I cannot do that. I'm sorry. I hear you and I hear everything you're saying, but Blue is like that broken clock. Like, yes, it's midnight, and it will be again. And it will be noon at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so every now and then, but it's between those hours where Blue just be doing some wild stuff, y'all. Like, y'all know y'all see this woman. So that's what I'm saying. Like, although she's in a good position, I don't even know if she knows how she got there. I don't even know if she knows how good her position is. It's just like, let me go talk trash with Matt and Jag for a little bit. Boom, they flipped. Okay, this cool thing happened. And then next thing you know, she's going and leaking the secrets over to somebody else. So I'm like, I hear you. I see the 6 potential, but Blue gonna have to really step it up. Like, people are like, you're underestimating her. No, I'm basing it off of what I've seen. That's all. Like, I just saying, like, if you take the baseball card, turn it over, you're gonna see all of Blue's stats. There's a lot of underestimating that should be going on. That's all I'm saying.
Chappell, I hear what you're saying, but have you considered Kitty Kitty Purr?
I have considered Kitty Kitty Purr, and I will say that influenced my ranking. Now, whether that's up or down, you judge. You judge.
All right. Well, let's move on then to Bowie. Chappell, can you start us off with Bowie?
You want to talk about somebody who just looked up and was in a good position. I think that people are starting to come around on Bowie Jane, FBJ. And it's and also, people stop correcting me. When I say FBJ, I mean effing Bowie Jane. I don't mean F her, like, you could know, like screw her. I'm saying that's her full name now, as far as I'm concerned. It's like F Sarah Beth, and I said that shit. Like, that's just the name. I don't
It's
actually
it's very much a compliment. I've always been pro Bowie. Yeah.
It's a term of endearment here. Okay. So this is FBJ. And FBJ has found herself in a situation that I don't even think she could have foreseen herself finding herself in, to where I don't think Bowie Jane is going anywhere. I think that you want to talk about floaters, grabbing a life vest, This is your floater of the season. This is the person who is literally going from one power structure to the next power structure and just being safe. Just safe enough that nobody's coming for me right now. If they are, let me figure out a way to just nice up to them where there are bigger fish to fry, there are bigger targets in the house. That is how the floater strategy is. Not the coaster and all this. I'm talking about people who legit wait to see who wins HOH, and then that is their friend. Blue is not able to do that. America's not able to do that. But Bowie Jane, FBJ be doing the things. And so I think that if anybody is getting the bump this week, I can't give it to Blue because I know that FBJ is actually doing these things on purpose. She's actually walking into, like, Jared was protecting Bowie Jane for no reason. He was legit like, I need a pawn, but it can't be Bowie. Like, legit. And it did not work. She was right there. She was the reason why. I mean, in theory, the way it was presented, she's the reason why the flip couldn't happen to save Jared. And he went that whole week saying, no, not Bowie Jane. Nope. I'd rather put up Corey in America than Bowie Jane. I'm going after Cam, but not Bowie Jane can't be a replacement. Like, he went to bat for her. She's doing it. It's effective. But also, can she maintain it? You know, so she will get my 6, Taran. I will give her the 6.
Okay. Well, the audience does agree with you in the sense that she is higher than both America and Blue. They gave her a 5 this week, which is roughly the same that she got last week.
Wow, a 5!
There it is. And I gotta say, Chappell, I was with you. And everyone knows I'm pro Bowie Jane. I like the way she's playing the game. I like how she is moving in the house, actively floating, making sure she's good with everyone. She's starting to gain respect, both as a person and a player, in all of these groups. I also think that she's being slept on in terms of her competition ability. Now, I do worry for, I think Bowie is physical enough to hang in there with some of these comps. My worry for Bowie is actually, I don't know if I have this this soundbite like ready to go, but she says this a lot, that she has no concept of time. And that concerns me for her studying. Oh, here it is.
How long after the Professors was formed did Heisem come along? I have no concept of time.
Felt.
She says that a lot. Like anytime anybody asks her a timeline of something, she says, "I'm sorry, I'm really bad at time." And that's concerning for mental components of physical competitions that she's already maybe a little bit in a bit of an underdog in. But all that said, I still feel good about her winning a couple in the end game. I still feel good about her overall. The biggest thing holding me back from the 6 right now is the events of today. The fact that Matt seemingly has been able to get her to turn on Corey and America, or even if she hasn't fully turned on them and will eventually go back, the fact that she exposed to Matt that Corey and America were trying to make a final 3 deal with her has already done enough, like a decent amount of damage to her theoretical position there. Corey and America are a considerably better path forward for her than Matt and Jag. And she should be doing everything in her power to make sure that Matt and Jag do not take the reins of this game, especially at the expense of Corey and America. And right now, it does not appear like she will. So maybe this is a little premature, but it gave me some pause in terms of where her game might be headed. So I'm going to go with a 5.
Yeah, I agree. I think she is in a very good spot. I think people aren't looking at her. I think she has at least a few weeks to try and like get in with people and figure something out. But I do think you're right. I think she doesn't know what her path forward is. And so I think the fact that she, you know, is just revealing information about Corey in America or whatever without really thinking through like, okay, who do I actually want to work with? Who's better for my game? I think that's a little concerning. I just don't feel like she knows what she's going to be doing next. I don't think she knows who she wants to work with. And, you know, I don't necessarily blame her because I do feel like she's been left out of a lot of stuff, but I think she needs to really be thinking about that. And I don't know if I see who she should be working with either. So I'm going to give her a 5.
All right. Yeah. Hold on. first and foremost.
Wow, another 5.
Second of all, this is the issue with I think Bowie is good at playing the middle, good at being a floater. I think that's very solid stuff. She's good at this. The problem with that game is that it only works while the people who are making things happen are doing things that benefit you. And right now, Blue has changed the trajectory of the game in a way that does not benefit Bowie. And seemingly, she is not only not going to stop it, but also maybe even help it along. If she changes that, then she may get a higher rating by next week, or maybe the situation will change again. But for now, still a 5. I think decent for where Bowie has been in the game so far. Let's move on to Cameron. Cameron, who has been evicted from the game. He had 2s last time around. He is still technically in the game and has a chance to come back. And it is looking like he is the one that will probably come back, but you never know. We also assumed Caitlyn was going to stay. So you have to consider the fact that if he loses a competition, he's basically out of the game. Then if he does come back in, what does his position look like? Well, the audience feels decent, I guess, about Cam because they gave him a 4.
Boy, get the hell out of here. What? See, that's the problem. Can I, Taran, may I?
Please.
Yeah, that's my issue here. We got such a short memory here in Big Brother. We stand so hard. We hate these people so hard. We see them making horrible ass mistakes and stuff like that. And then they do a little thing here and there that we kind of mess with. And we like, oh, this man is not in the game. That is not real. Okay. He's not in the game. He is a zombie. If he loses on Thursday, you just gave a 4 to somebody who is voted out of the game. Come on. Let's stop the shenanigans, y'all. Let's stop it. Stop it. Stand up, damn it. Stand up. All right. I said it.
All right. Well, I certainly can't go with the 4. Just the fact that he's going to be playing in a competition for his life on Thursday. We don't actually know what this competition is. I think a lot of people are assuming that it's going to be a layup because that's what Caitlyn's was theoretically. But the difference here, from my perspective at least, is that Caitlyn's puzzle was a layup because they wanted Caitlyn to win the puzzle. And if she lost the puzzle, it really kind of screwed them up. If Cam loses, Jared comes back in. There's not like a, oh, wow, it would be terrible if they lost. It's like, no, that just the other outcome happens. It's actually, it's a good thing if it's close. It's a good thing if it's a hard fought battle. Now you might say, well, but how is that fair? He won the competition. He should be able to have a leg up, to which I would say they don't care about fairness. And also it might be that he still has a leg up, but I don't know that it's going to be quite the given that a lot of people assume it is. All of that said, let's say he does get back in the game. I do think he's done a fairly good job of reintegrating himself. I think his pitch to Matt and Jag was very effective, clearly. He has formed an alliance with them, the Fugitives, that is locking him into a place where he's not being targeted by almost anyone coming into next week. He still has the issue with Corey, but he is theoretically working on that. And that's all good work by Cam, especially considering that, Cam has had issues with this kind of work in the past. So I do want to give him some credit for that. I still think his path to the end is extremely difficult. Even if he's not immediately targeted again, it's not like he has a solid actual end game where people are going to not target him soon after. So all of that is basically going to amount to a generous 3 from me. Mostly because of his good work strategically, but there's a lot that could go wrong here for Cam. Melissa, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really difficult to rate him when he might not even be coming back in the house. But I also feel like if we just give like a 1 to Jared and Cam, because we don't know which one is going to get in the house and they might go home. Like, I feel like it's boring and dumb. So I feel like we have to rate them for like what they could do if they get back in the house, or like the likelihood that they're going to get back in the house. And at this point, it does seem like Cam is going to be the one. But yeah, I think he's done really good work this week. I think that like the fact that Jag and Matt have created an alliance with someone who's not even in the house yet, like I just feel like that's already a good sign. Everyone originally was saying whoever gets back in, we're immediately going to kick them out. Which like that's really what should happen, I think, in this situation. But now they're not saying that anymore, mostly due to Cam's good work and also due to Corey's, downfall. So I think overall, I think like Cam's done a good job, but I really don't know. This is difficult just because like he's not in the house. So I'm going to give him a 3 because I do think he's doing a lot better than he did last week. But because he might not even come back, like 3 is as high as I can go, I think.
This man's getting a 1. Next.
Well, that makes it
he
easy.
He got a 2 before he got voted out. He got voted out. He's getting a 1. If I could give him a 0, I'd give him a 0.
Very fair. Very fair.
Technically he's not in the house yet, so yeah.
He does not even in the game. This man is getting a 1. If I could give him a 0, I'd give him a 0.
All right, let's move on to Cirie then. Let's talk through Cirie's position here. It's obviously considerably better than last week. It pained me to give her the rating that I had to last week, where it was looking like not only was she potentially going to leave in the double eviction if Jared won a veto, but also a lot of people were targeting her immediately following the double eviction. Now, obviously, this twist was pretty beneficial to her overall, especially because after a warning from Corey, she's basically stopped leaking all of her information through Jared, which is very good. And she's really started to make some inroads back into the game in a very impressive way. My concern remains, without Jared in the game, endgame comps are very physical. Cirie is going to have a tough time, especially the longer Matt and Jag stay around, because they are the two most physical people left if Jared leaves, in Cam too, theoretically. The end game looks tough. She doesn't have Izzy anymore. She doesn't have Jared anymore. She's going to have to trick somebody into bringing her to the end, which is particularly difficult because people know she's Cirie, especially Corey. And she's kind of starting late here. She's starting on day 50 with a lot of these people. Her entire end game plans had to be shifted around. So there's a lot that is like, there's a lot of difficulty in front of her. But I think this week has been very impressive from Cirie in terms of how she has managed to turn things around. I think that in a lot of ways, Corey leaving is a pre-jury is potentially a good thing for her. And maybe if he makes jury, it's even better. But Corey leaving soon takes away the only person that would like be in people's ears, like, what are you talking about? Don't bring Cirie to the final 2. Because once he's gone, I feel like she can start to get into people's heads. Hey, Matt, you really want to risk it with Jag in the final 2? Really? Jag has won more comps than you. Jag has a better story than you. Hey, Blue, we both love Jared, right? Like, you don't want to go to the end with Jag and Matt, do you? They're obviously going to beat you. Hey, Cam, like, there's a lot of options with Corey not there to be like, guys, this is ridiculous. So I'm very high on Cirie again. And I'm going to give her a 7.
Yeah, I feel like Cirie has done really well this week. And I think with Jared leaving and with Corey becoming the new house target, I think that that's great for her because it just lets her go under the radar again. And the fact that everybody, after every conversation that people have with Cirie, they're like, I feel really good about Cirie. This is great. I think the one area where Cirie is lacking in right now is after Jared leaves, I don't feel like she has like a solid alliance. that she can really count on. But at this point, like, I feel like everybody's solid alliance isn't so solid and everybody's turning on everybody. So I think once the HOH happens, like, I could definitely see Cirie getting in with like a group or with a person or whatever and just like finding her way. Or even if she doesn't, I think that even could be better for her because then she's not connected to a duo or whatever. And she's not seen as a target because she's all alone. So, I mean, I feel like I've been very impressed with her this week. And I think I'm worried just because I don't know what the HOH is going to bring. So I'm trying to keep everyone kind of, I don't know. I think I'll give her a 6.
All right. Chappell?
Y'all already know what I came here to do, man. You know what I'm saying? Listen. I know people are probably like, Chappell's biased. I am. And what about it? I'm sorry. Listen, this woman's whole game crumbled. She lost both her children in the dramatic fashion. They jumped my mama on that stage. They did. They came after her. She looked at Matt. You, my baby boy, you did this? He's like, Mama, I had to save you. I had to let Jared go so we could survive. Jared is her biggest op. She don't even know it. That is the problem. That is her problem with her game. It's poop. And now he's gone. Now my mama can do the things that she's known to do. She can do Cirie things. Now, don't get me wrong. She is in a deficit. I cannot give her a 10 because of the deficit. However, if you think I'm going to give her the same or less than Blue, you crazy. That is wild. That is a wild statement. That is nuts. Because Cirie has proven, again, if you just give her a little space, she can do Cirie things. She is not a normal player. Everybody wants to complain about how rigged the season is. Okay, then it's rigged. Then don't be shocked when I give rigged ass scores. She's doing things because she is a legend of these social strategy games and she's good at it. So I will give her a 7 as well.
All right. The audience agrees with Melissa on this one. They actually gave Cirie a 6. Yeah, all this debate about who I'm biased for, I've been very clear from the start, guys.
Right. Day one. Look. I'm a Cirie stan. Taran's a bigger Cirie stan than me. And that's hard to do. Taran came in on the first podcast and said, God tier strategy and God tier social ability. And y'all are like, why is he so high on Cirie? Pay attention, y'all.
To be fair, I'm gonna knock some of the strategy down, but definitely God tier social ability.
For sure. Right. Social ability is just unmatched.
Yeah, it happens. So yeah, I'm sorry. There's no way that she and Blue are going to get the same score from me. Cirie sets the curve. She is not behind it. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's move on then to Corey. Melissa.
Oh,
good luck, Corey.
Oh, it's not good. I just feel like this has been such a bad week for Corey. Like, not only has it been a bad week for what he's been doing and saying throughout the week, but also the fact that he is like #1 target moving into next week for so many different people. And I feel like, you know, it's difficult because it's like, it's not good. It's not good. And I'm just very worried for him moving into next week. And yeah, I think I'm gonna have to give him really bad, and I really don't want to give him that bad. I'm like looking at like a 2, honestly, because I'm thinking America is doing better than he is currently, just because she's not #1 on the target list. Maybe she's #2. So I think. But if I give him worse than Cameron, that's like terrible.
I think you know what? Too high.
Maybe I will just give him a 2 so that he can, if Corey ends up pulling something off, he can, you know, I don't know. His stock will skyrocket next week. I don't know.
All right, Chappell.
This is tough. Corey's been playing like ass this week, and we all know it, and we all see it. He is more capable than many of these other people, but he's also more capable of messing up than them, because I just don't understand. There's literally no reason why he should be doing the things that he's doing. I said the twist is not the reason why he's doing poorly, and I stand by that. But I will give him some grace because this twist is definitely unfair to him. So he will not get the 2 that America is getting. But I mean, he letting effing Bowie Jane outplay him, bro. So I mean, he got to get a 4 this week. A four for Corey, and that's only because I know that he could do better, and that if I'm grading on the curve, he leaps and bounds better than American Blue. They just happen to be in a better position than him.
All right. Well, the audience does agree with you, Chappell. They gave Corey a 4 as well. I don't though.
I know you don't. So go and drag him. This is your prerogative.
Yeah, I mean, listen, because I'm sure somebody's gonna screenshot this and be like, what? Corey in America below Cameron? Here's the deal. I don't just rate on current position. I also rate on how they're playing. And right now, Cameron is doing better things in the game than Corey is. Corey is actively doing things to the detriment of his own position, whereas Cameron is actively doing things that are bettering his position. And I listen. I like judging particularly heavy on that because it makes for more interesting ratings. And yeah, Corey has really dropped the ball this week. Not only has he, I think people have been talking about Corey dropping the ball. Corey is not dropping the ball. He's spiking the ball into the ground on his own side. It's not great. And so yeah, I mean, I've already talked plenty about him at this point, but I agree with Melissa. I'm gonna give him a 2.
Taran,
very sad.
Is my mic being funky?
The chat was saying they got them some.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything weird.
I don't hear
anything.
Oh no, is this another StreamYard thing?
It might be a StreamYard thing. But just check it, whatever, toggle or whatever. They're saying it's fine now.
They're saying it's fine now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hopefully, I don't. If it's a StreamYard thing, which it seems like it might be, then I don't think there's much we can do about it. Hopefully, it just works out.
Yeah.
All right.
We're almost done anyway, guys.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Felicia, and Chappell.
I honestly don't have a good read on Felicia. If I don't really know. I think that she is in a position that she is blessed to have. But it seems like she's falling back in with the Cirie and Mimi. Like they're kind of making a thing happen there. I think she benefits a lot from Cirie kind of getting her clutches back on the game, because even though her and Cirie fight, they still seem to come together in that like a general agreement. I also think a lot of people think that it's probably a waste of an HOH to go after Felicia. And so that's probably a good thing too. So it's like she's not floating, but I also don't think she's at the top of the pecking order for anybody to take out, because it would feel like it's a waste. I think that like if you were targeting her, unless you're Corey, I feel like a lot of these other people just really have their eyes set on who you just gave a 2, and how to potentially get him or America out. And so she's not doing great. But I also don't think there was a world where she was going to come out of this whole, debacle and looking great anyway. She was already getting added to the bottom of Corey's alliance, as like the final pieces when they stole Izzy away. And so, yeah, I'd probably give her a 4 too.
All right. Hopefully the mic is doing a little better here. Let me know in the chat if it is or isn't. But the audience gave Felicia a 4 as well.
Yeah.
And I gave Felicia a 4 last week. She does have Cam targeting her, but it could change. My biggest issue with Felicia right now is that the paths are all just blocked at the moment, and the respect that she had in the early portion of the game is fading. And the ability for her to win competition is going to get worse and worse as they get more and more physical. But I don't mind what she's doing. I'm gonna give her a 4 too.
I'll keep it simple. I'll give her a 4.
There you go.
Yeah, that pass thing is very important, and I think you're not wrong about the respect thing. I mean, when you win HOH, it naturally gives you this air of respect. People like we talk about like, oh, this person isn't good at comps, this person isn't good at comps. At the end of the day, a lot of those comps be made up and they be fake games and they don't even matter, or they be rigged or whatever the case may be. But having the moment to kind of galvanize the house and to make them do what you want, That is a strong thing to have. That's why it's important to win HOH sometimes. Everybody doesn't need to win HOH all the time, but it's good to kind of plant your flag. And I think it's been a while since she's been able to do that. If she could win maybe like a mental cop or something like that, that's a little less physical, and just prove that she has a reason to be in the house, she can also solidify some things with some allies, and she just hasn't done it. But again, there are some people playing abysmally right now, and she's not the worst.
Yeah, was about Bell in the chat says fading. You mean faded? The reason I say fading the respect for Felicia's game is because despite the fact that there is definitely talk about her, as not the best player in the world, there is still this like lingering bit of she's still a mastermind. She still like does things and turns people against each other. Whether it's true or not, there is a lingering bit of that there. That she could revive at some point, versus somebody who's just always been seen as a goat. She's not quite there yet, at least for me, and for the house, or at least that's my perspective. So, let's move on to Jag, our third evicted player.
This is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Last week I gave Jag a 5. He's still on the rise here. The problem for me, I was definitely thinking Jag's probably going to move up a little bit. The biggest issue I have is that I think Jag is going to. First of all, I think I'm going to start with the audience. Actually, Jag gets a 5 from the audience. So there you go.
Wow, another 5.
And I think I have to agree. I was definitely thinking about moving up on Jag because his position is continuing to get better. My issue though is that Blue has managed to convince Jag to go after Corey in America, or at least allow them all to go after Corey in America. Whether Jag actually follows through or not is another thing. He's probably the least likely to at the moment between himself, Matt, and Blue. But it's bad for Jag more than Matt and Blue to go after Corey in America. Jag's gonna lose to Matt in the finals. He doesn't have a lot of respect in the game right now, and he's not doing a lot to change that at the moment. And so, I feel like he really got whipped into this frenzy of anti-Corey in America stuff when it doesn't actually make a lot of sense. For as much as I'm praising Blue for convincing them to do this. Her logic was terrible, and the fact that they believed it was bad, especially from Jag, who has incentive to not believe it because his position worsens as Corey and America leave because he's leaving in Felicia and Mimi, who are actively targeting him, versus Corey and America, who would not anytime soon. So it's not great. I don't like his end game at all right now, but I do still like his competition ability, and there's lots of time where he's probably not going to be in too much danger, although, a Felicia Mimi win would be really bad. But I'm going to give him a 5.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with my 5 as well. I think he's, in a decent spot, but it does concern me how he just will believe what anyone says with just it doesn't matter. It's like if someone tells him that this is what's going on, he just believes it. And so I just feel like that's concerning for me moving down the line, for him to make decisions that probably aren't good for him. But at this point, nothing has happened. So he's a 5.
I'm going to give him a 4 because he's an awful Big Brother player. Yeah. I mean, y'all said everything y'all need to say,
Fair.
But Jag doesn't know what he's doing from day to day. He's lucky that Matt has spared him and that Matt has taken him under his wing. And Matt, being a child of Cirie, is in a good spot. And so Jag being aligned with a child of Cirie puts him in a good spot. But this is not Jag's doing. Jag is just blessed that the house blew up in his favor. But no, Jag gets a 4 here.
Yeah. All right then. Let's move on to Jared. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with Cam. I'm going to give Jared a 3. And here's why. I don't think he's playing as well as Cam right now, but I think that he comes into a better spot than Cam does if he does manage to survive. In fact, Jared's spot is looking pretty good. if he stays in the game. He's still got Felicia and Mimi on board. He'll have Blue. Both Matt and Jag want to pull Jared in right now rather than go against him and work against Corey and America, which means that he won't have Jag or Matt coming after him, while at the same time knowledgeable enough to know he needs to go after Matt and Jag, or at least I would assume so. You never know with Jared. On top of all of that, like, he would probably have Corey and America still coming after him, but that's like his worst case scenario. And because of the information that Blue has given him, he has a ton of dirt to drop on Matt or Jag in the event that he stays, Corey and America wins HOH. So I actually really like Jared's position. And unlike Cam, it actually has legs if he stays in the game. So for very different reasons, I'm going to give him the same rating. That's my position. What do you think, Melissa?
I see what you're saying, but I agree in that I do think that he would come into a good situation if he were to stay with Cirie and with Blue. You know, he already has built-in allies, and the fact that people aren't currently talking about targeting him. But I do think that for me, it's a little different because I feel like we're not hearing a lot of like, oh, we need to get Jared out, because they're assuming Jared's not coming back. So I feel like people are like, and I know you're saying that like they're going to bring him in, or they're talking about bringing him in or whatever, but I feel like all of this is like under the assumption that Cam is staying. And so we need to work with Cam, and we're talking about Cam. We're not talking about Jared. He's no longer a target because he's leaving. And so I do think that if Jared were to stay, I don't know if I see everybody just kind of forgetting about him and being like, okay, like, let's just like bring him back into the fold and work with him. Like, I do think that if he were to stay, I think he would turn into a target again. And I think like normally it's like, well, but we're not hearing him being talked about as a target. But I think that's because nobody thinks he's going to come back. And I think if they knew he was coming back, they would be talking about like, well, we're going to have to deal with Jared. We can't keep him in the house. He's not trustworthy, whatever. And not to mention the fact that this is Jared. So I really don't have a lot of faith that he's not going to be like extremely cocky if he gets back into the house and just like destroy everything and be like, I'm not working with you, Matt. I'm not working with you. You use the veto. You didn't use the veto. You could have saved me. I picked you. I'm not working with you. I'm not working with you. Like, I could see like a blow up. I could see a whole situation where he just like cannot just come back in and be like, guys, thanks for like having me back. Like, I want to work with you. Like, no hard feelings, like, which is what you kind of need to do. So I don't know. I think like for me, I'm going to give him a 2 just because like, I do think that the Blue Cirie situation is good for him, but I don't know if I have faith that Jared could really like pull off a, hey guys, I'm back. Like, welcome me back in a normal way sort of thing.
Fair.
This is a 1. This man is not in the game. He's probably not coming back in the game. If he comes back in the game, his spot will get blown because he is not a good Big Brother player. Pooh, if you're listening to this, you are not a good Big Brother player. You are lying to people and they already know the truth. You're lying to your mom and she knows the truth. Everybody you are lying to already knows the truth and they don't believe your lies. They're mocking you behind your back. You are not good at this game. You got voted out for a reason. It was your fault. It was all your fault. And so you are getting a 1 this week.
All right, there you go. A 1 from Chappell. The ratings 3, 2, 1, and the audience gave Jared a 2.
Y'all are generous. Y'all generous. I don't want to see nothing else on Twitter. Yeah, why the people they play that? Like, nah, because when y'all see bad stuff happening, y'all be like, let me guess I give them a 2 for my stocks. I see what y'all doing. Y'all about that money. Look at capitalism doing all these things. I see y'all.
All right. Well, let's move on then to Matt. Melissa, how do you feel about Matt?
I think Matt is doing really well. I feel really good about Matt. I think he's in such a good spot. People aren't targeting him. Everyone wants to work with him. They should be targeting him. He's, he's in Cirie's good graces at this point. Like, even though he kind of obviously didn't use the veto on Jared. Yeah, I honestly think he's in the best spot in the house. And like we said earlier at the beginning of the podcast, like, we really might be looking at a Matt win. You know, he is in that good of a spot that everyone might be just fighting with each other around him and kind of like walking him to the finale. So, and you know what? Do I give him an 8? Do I do it? I don't know. I'm wondering if I give him an 8 because like the fact that he didn't use the veto on Jared and that's not this horrible, like, oh my God, Matt betrayed us, like this whole thing. Like I think he's doing a really good job. You know what? I'm gonna give him an 8. I'm just gonna do it.
An 8. All right, Chappell.
This is hard because Matt is probably like, if you have to pick a spot on the board to put your piece on and say, this is the guy who's probably going to win, it should be Matt. We know the competitions are going to be physical most of the times. You know, don't come on here 3 weeks from now talking about, you said they was going to be like, damn, normally they are. And if that's the case, then he would be leaps and bounds ahead of a lot of these people. But if they are mental, luckily for him, he's got Corey just giving him the answers. And so you can't get no better than that. I think if this was if this was Cirie, I'd be like, yeah, look, I mean, what could she be doing better? You know, I think that Matt's doing a great thing. I think that he's playing really well. I think that he has positioned himself in a place where he's most likely to, if not win out, to be a person who people are not targeting, even if they were to start winning some stuff. And I think he's learning at the foot of my mother, Cirie. But I will not betray my mom. He will not get a higher score than Cirie. He gets a 7.
All right. Well, the audience agrees with Chappell. They gave Matt a 7.
Thanks. Thank you.
But I'm going to have to agree with Melissa on this one. I do think that Matt is an 8 this week. I think that basically playing the week nearly perfectly, managing to not use the managing to clearly be against Jared, work that whole thing, do the damage control necessary to get back into the spot that he's in, pulls Blue back in after clearly betraying Blue, manages to literally have Cirie Fields in an episode say, if this guy is a snake, then I need to retire because I'm blind. And he's a snake. He is. He's a snake and a rat. And he is very clearly the front runner right now. People are playing for him to win at this point. He does have a couple of weak points, mainly in Mimi and Felicia right now. But they still would probably be more aimed at Jag than him because he just has better relationships with most people than Jag does. He even has a better relationship with Blue than Jag does, which is ridiculous. So and even all this Corey in America stuff, it's good for him because it limits Jag's options and it just puts him in an even better spot. I think he does need to be worried about Cam in the long run, but yeah, I mean, this game is right now it's Matt's to lose, and the only thing that could really lose it for him at this point is a couple of really unlucky comp outcomes, or maybe he's just not as good as we think he will be at these end game comps. But right now, it's definitely looking quite good for Matt. So let's talk about Mimi. Chappell, how do you feel about Mimi?
I feel better about Mimi than I do Felicia, even though Mimi did make, as people pointed out, a very big, like, kind of fumble in the order that they were picking these competitions. Obviously, she should not be showing her hand as to who she wants to, target or who she doesn't want to win HOH. And so she did a thing. However, I like me some Mimi. I do like her. I don't think she has made as the egregious errors that some of these other people have made. And not to tell on myself, but there has been some collusion. Somebody did reach out to me. I was like, hey, can you just I bought a little Mimi stock. Could you just help me out?
Oh my
gosh. Yeah, I wasn't
devastating.
And I'm cheap. So
I hope they offered you quite a deal here.
And I'm cheap. So that being said, I'm gonna stay with Mimi's 6 because I was asked to.
Oh boy. Are you going
Wow.
to listen? The theme of the season is that people rat out information. Are you gonna spill?
1000%. I'll tweet it out.
There you go. Follow Chappell on Twitter for the spilling of information. The audience, little less generous. It was close, but they ended up going with a 5 for Mimi this week, down from the 6, which I do understand, and I've been back and forth myself on the 5 or a 6 here. I did not receive any offers myself, so
they know your integrity is way more. They know who to come to. I just say they know where Daddy is. Come on home. Come home to Daddy. Daddy's home.
Chappell's easy to get.
Yeah, not so fast, Melissa.
Here's my dilemma. On one hand, Mimi is one of the only people in this game that recognizes the threat of Matt and Jag, one of the only people willing to do something about it, and that's good. And it's also bad because more people need to be on top of this. And she's not doing a whole lot to get other people on top of it. Now, I think that's probably the right move right now, but this is also like we haven't really seen Mimi be super active in the past. And so if, say, Corey or America or somebody other than the people that are in Matt and Jag's influence were to an HOH, I would really hope that she really goes in hard to try to get them eliminated because it is crucial for her game that they go because they're blocking the entire road for basically anybody else, mainly her. However, she is looking much safer than she was at the start of the week, with Corey in a lot of trouble, Felicia in a little bit of trouble, and then if she wins, of course, Matt or Jag being in trouble. It seems like she should stick around for a little while longer. I do still think that she will have a chance in these end game competitions. I think that she will definitely have a shot at winning if she makes it to the final 2. But her path is looking a little sketchy. And that's another pro. So it's a lot of pros and cons here. You know, her path right now, there isn't one. Her path is take out Matt, and then you have a path that you can create, maybe. But she's probably got some time. The Corey and America downfall was really good for her. So I've really been back and forth. When the week started after the double, I was like, ooh, big fall for Mimi. Then it slowly crawled back up, and then it was maybe like, oh, maybe not. They're going after Felicia. Now they're going after Corey again. I think I am going to bump it back up to the 6, despite the fact that I was not paid to do so.
What the heck? I wasn't paid either, and it's like I don't know how. What do I have to do to get people to want to pay me? I mean, come on.
Look, you gotta seem more flexible.
Yeah, no, I think I'm just gonna keep Mimi's score the same as last week as 6. I think that she's about the same situation with everyone else kind of like crumbling around her in different areas, and as long as she kind of stays the course, I think she can last pretty far. But I do think, like you guys said, she might have some trouble down the line in the end game. Like, what's her path? Because you can only just kind of do nothing and let people follow around outside of you without doing something on your own. So yeah, we'll see, but still a 6 at this point.
Right. And that's the Stockwatch. That's what we have for you this week. Let me pull it back up. Let's just do a quick
wild ups and downs.
Recap. Honestly, a lot of things staying mostly the same. Big jump up for Cirie.
It's like Cirie and Corey are like this, basically.
Big drop for Corey. Yep, that's basically the main thing that's happening here. And Matt really cementing his front runner position here with the 7 into the 8. So I think that Matt and Cirie probably were the biggest winners overall this week, which makes a lot of sense. All right. Anything else that we need to talk about this week?
I mean, can't you already see it? Can't you see that road for Cirie just to the final 2 with Matt and she's just in his ear, just coaxing him, just like, hey, Matt, go do this, go do this, go do this, go do this. I need that. That's what I need to see from my queen mother. I need her to be able to find this person who's going to win the challenges and then use them to get to the end, because that's what we like to see here. And so I'm hoping that she can pull it off. But I'm really excited about potentially getting Jared or Cameron out of the house, so that things can reset a little bit. I really want Jared out of the house, just because I want Cirie to be able to breathe a little bit.
Yes.
But also, I think that if once we stop canceling eliminations and stuff like that and let these people play the game, we're about to get some exciting stuff. Or we're going to get Matt winning everything. And so let's just see. So I'm willing to be optimistic after this week. This week I get to bitch and moan.
I feel like I could definitely see a situation where Matt and Cirie like link back up and kind of just like take it to the end. But then I also see a situation where Matt wins the final HOH and like cuts Cirie. Imagine the devastation. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, it would be great TV, but it would just be like if she's like, she loses Izzy, she loses Jared. It's like all out. She's down and out. Matt has turned on her. It's terrible. She's able to make it all the way to the end just with sheer, determination and strategy, social skills, etc. And it's like you get down to the end and Matt's just like, actually, this whole time, like I've been working with Jag or whatever, so good devastating. TV. Good TV, yes.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff.
People are asking for a Melissa ranking update.
Oh, it's not going to be good because I forgot to do anything and I kept like America and Corey or something.
She did have a lot of America and Corey.
It's bad. I forgot.
You did move down in the rankings overall, but I think you might have been 12th last week of the Melissas. Yeah. You were 11th this week.
Oh, okay.
You moved up a little bit.
I like that. I'll take it. Better than nothing. I honestly thought it was gonna be the last one because I was like, I forgot America and Corey are like on there, and
you had a lot of Mimi, which saved you.
Nice. Oh, so yeah, I was the one who was bribing Chappell.
Well, I wasn't gonna say. But...
Yeah. So sorry, I ruined your tweet and everything, but
the call was coming from inside the house. Yeah.
It was me the whole time. Taran, I tried to bribe you, but you didn't see my DM.
that tracks actually.
Yeah, that tracks. You never see.
Sounds about right.
All right. Any final thoughts, Melissa?
I can't wait for this week to be over and we can finally start the game again and get a new HOH and not have these zombies or whatever in the house. So yeah, very excited to move on.
All right, Chappell, any final thoughts?
No, this was an experiment Big Brother decided to use, and we knew how it was going to go, and it's going exactly how it was. So let's just cleanse ourselves from this and move forward into some new stuff next week. I'm very excited.
All right. Well, that's what we have for you this week then. We will be back next week when there's an actual game going again. We will have lost one player at least, and on our way to lose another. So we'll see how that goes. You can, of course, find me on twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong. I even have this is a little preview of what it looks like for me. If you watch me on Twitch, this was during the double eviction. We have predictions. There's a chat that you're watching with. It's very fun. Very fun. I'm wearing fun merch. It's a good time. So check out the Twitch channel over on twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong. You can, of course, also find me over on Twitter. I'm posting climbing on Instagram. I don't have a preview of that, but it's fun. And then, of course, I'll be back with an update tomorrow, and I'll be live on Twitch watching tomorrow's Survivor premiere as well. So lots of stuff to get to there. You can, of course, find Melissa at It's Melissa with 3 A's. And Chappell, I'm sure, has 15 different things to plug.
Several things to plug. Let's not be ridiculous now. It's only a few things.
Let's count.
Dang, Taran. So I'm just gonna skip a few. Subscribe.
No, please feel free. Chappell does a lot of great work on the podcast, and literally everything he touches is gold. So pay attention to his plugs.
And buy Taran's merch. Oh my God. Okay, so yeah. Check out Nothing But Netflix with me and Rob. With special guest Scally is coming on to talk about The Devil's Plan, a new game show that is similar and from the creators of The Genius. And so if you like The Genius, come check out Scally on Nothing But Netflix talking about that. Then check out me and Rob talking about Suits on suitspodcast.com, and you can subscribe and all that good stuff there. Sasha and I will be talking about Below Deck Mediterranean is coming. We just finished Below Deck Down Under, and so check that out every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube page, on RHAP as a Podcast YouTube page, where we'll be going live. You can also subscribe to the podcast on the Bravo Wrap-Ups feed. On post-show recaps, talk about The Walking Dead. So that's fun. The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon is 3 episodes in, about 3 episodes to go. And then we'll be talking about Fear the Walking Dead. So subscribe to post-show recaps wherever you get your podcast. And I was just on the Survivor, draft with Taran. We had a good time. And so tune in. Survivor will be starting next week. And I will be talking about the Price is Right episode of with Survivor players this season. And then I also will be on the Survivor Q&A. And so, check all that out and more, and follow me on Twitter at Chappell's_show to keep up with all that stuff. And then, of course, the PSR Connect, the Connect on post show recaps. It's me, it's Mari, it's Asia, and we are talking about black shows, y'all. And so they got me and Mari talking about The Changeling with Lakeith Stanfield. We're hosting that one every week. And then we also have The Other Black Girl, which Mari and Asia should be wrapping up their coverage this week. And they will be having Sasha on as the special guest. So check out the Connect on Post Show Recaps wherever you get your podcast, or just subscribe to Post Show Recaps for all of that and more. That's it.
All right. Well, thank you. Six of them. There you go.
Not so fast.
Double the amount of Melissa's A's.
Yeah.
That's true. Good point.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us here this week, and we will see all of you next time.